Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Dave's Top 3000 Songs of the Rock Era. Today I'm up to song number 2479, and that one is Everything That Touches You by The Association. This came out in 1968, went to number 10. Here's a picture of the single, and it was also released on their 1968 album called Birthday. And see, it's kind of a psychedelic looking album. It was from that era. And here's a picture of the association around the time they recorded it. And as usual, I'll start with a reaction to the beginning of the song. So here goes. Enjoy. I'm going to start at the beginning. Sorry about that.
In my most secure moments, I still can't believe I'm spending those moments with you. And the ground I am walking, the air that I breathe, are shared at those moments with you. You love for you, you show the feel of everything that touches.
Okay, that's a little sample of Everything That Touches You by The Association. You can see it was kind of a ballad, kind of a late 60s ballad. They called The Association a Sunshine Pop Band. There were a number of other bands like them around that time, like the Turtles and the Fifth Dimension and a bunch of others. And not a bad song, I think. Not one of my favorites of theirs, but it's okay. I mean, I think I would have put it higher if I liked it better. But, kind of a simplistic love song, I guess. I mean, one thing about the association was I think they were trying to sound really deep with a lot of their songs, but I think they sort of failed. I think they kind of, you could tell it was kind of manufactured music, even though they used a lot of big words and, a lot of big metaphors and all that. But I guess that's just kind of how a lot of 60s music was. Maybe they were trying to imitate Bob Dylan or Donovan with their profundity, whatever you call that. Not a bad song though. I mean, it's a pretty powerful love ballad. I guess basically they're saying, that he's just so in love with this woman. He feels like everything that touches her touches him. Like they're kind of like soulmates, I guess, in that sense, kind of sharing their experiences with each other. And they're a pretty good group. I think I've said enough about the song Everything That Touches You. Now I'm going to talk about the band and their hits. And the association, they got started in Los Angeles in 1965. They were originally around from 65 to 78. I guess they broke up for about a year. I think they went through many membership changes over the years, but they're still playing. They reunited in '79, and they're still together today. I'm sure they're very old now, but they're a good group, and I guess their original members, which are shown on this picture, at least their most well-known lineup, included Terry Kirkman. He was on lead vocals, woodwind, and percussions, and also Russ Gruyere, who was on vocals, guitar, and just vocals and guitar. Jim Yester, who was on vocals, rhythm and lead the guitar. Jules Alexander, who was on vocals and lead and rhythm, guitar and bass, and Brian Cole, who was on vocals and bass, and Ted Bluchel, I'm not even sure how to pronounce his name, Ted Bluchel Jr. was also on vocals, and percussion, I guess they all sing. So good vocal group, there were a number of them around that time, and they had some pleasing songs. And um, now I'm just going to go through their hits. And their first hit was in 1966. It was called Along Comes Mary. That went to number 7. They followed that up with their first number one called Cherish, very well known ballad, one of the biggest hits of the year 1966, I believe. They followed that up with Pandora's Golden Heebie Jeebies, which went to 35. In 1967, they had No Fair at All, which went to 51. Their second number one called Windy, and then they just missed the top spot with the follow-up hit Never My Love, went to number two. And the flip side of that was Requiem for the Masses, which just barely made the Hot 100, went to number 100. 1968, they had the song I'm featured today, Everything That Touches You, which went to number 10. Time for Living, which went to 39. Six Man Band, which went to 47. 1969, they had the theme to a movie called Goodbye Columbus, which was also first a novel by Philip Roth. I read the novel a long time ago. Good story. Good movie, too. I don't really remember the song. Let's see. They had a couple other hits. Let me just go here. So here they are. 1973, they had Names, Tags, Numbers, and Labels, which went to 91. And finally, 1981, they had a song called Dreamer, which went to 66. And I don't think that was the same Dreamer that Supertramp had, which is a pretty excellent song. But anyway, those were the hits by The Association. Pretty big band, pretty big 60s, sunshine pop band, and not a bad song. Everything That Touches You. Anyway, that completes my profile of Everything That Touches You by The Association. So thank you for watching. You guys rock, and I'll see you next time. Bye.